Hello and welcome to my channel, Samantha Loves to Sew, where today we're diving into 10 iconic sewing patterns from my personal collection, defined fashion from the 1920s to the 1970s. These styles shaped fashion for decades and they continue to inspire vintage sewing enthusiasts today. So let's dive right in. The 1920s, no surprises here, the flapper dress.
You're on the map with a new tune, funny blue tune with a peculiar snap.
With its dropped waist and straight silhouette and often intricate beading, embroidery, sequins or fringing, the flapper dress was all about freedom. It was designed to let women dance the night away, whether they were doing the Charleston or just enjoying the jazz age.
Oh, every step you do leads to something new, man, I'm telling you, it's a how do you do buff dance, wing dance will be your back number, but the new Charleston, that dance is surely a comer sometime, you'll dance to it one time.
To sew a flapper dress, you can use the 1920s 1-hour dress pattern, which I have made up twice, and which basically just involves sewing together a simple rectangle, or use a dress pattern with a loose straight fit. And most importantly, don't forget to add those playful embellishments. For the 1920s flapper dress, look for delicate floaty fabrics like chiffon or a fine silk, because I made mine in silk velvet. Also all about jewel colours and embellishments. Then at the start of the 1930s, the bias cut dress, a true game changer in fashion. Popularised by the designer Madame Vianney, the bias cut dress uses the drape of the fabric's diagonal grain so that the dress drapes beautifully over the body. Of course, we see stars of the 30s like Jean Harlow emphasise their feminine curves with the bias cut dress. It gives you that fluid, elegant silhouette that was all about glamour during the Great Depression. Sewing patterns for this style emphasise fluidity and minimal structure. I sewed a bias cut dress from Janet Arnold's Patterns of Fashion in this video, and it's one of those styles that looks very simple but is actually quite a challenge to accomplish because there are no seams, no darts, there's nothing for you to alter the fit. You have to get the cut right first time, just to skim the body, not be too loose, not to be too tight. So the dress pattern that I sewed from Janet Arnold's Patterns of Fashion was literally cut in one piece, so there was only one seam. And these styles often had deep necklines or were cut down to a deep V at the back, like the dress that I made, and had sweeping skirts. And moving into the late 1930s, we see the charming tea dress. And of course, I sewed this version with the butterfly sleeves. The tea dress was a favourite for afternoon gatherings when people often socialised in their own homes. It had a slightly flared skirt, a fitted bodice, and delicate details like puffed sleeves and lace trims. And I would say this is my personal favourite style of all, but I'll be interested to know what your favourite style is from the decades that we're covering. To create your own 1930s tea dress, of course you can use a vintage pattern or look for styles that combine elegance and informality. Tea dresses really offered a balance between a dressy and casual look. The dress was perfect for a garden party or a cosy evening with friends. When sewing a tea dress, you want patterns that offer a delicate details and flattering fit, and fabrics such as floral cottons or silks or drapey rayons. You want a soft finish. Then in the 1940s, as we entered World War II, practicality was key. Enter the utility dress. Designed with with minimal fabric and decoration. It was a no-nonsense functional piece. The pinnacle of this design was the Pinafore Dress, a wartime favourite. For example, Vogue recommended your staple piece of what was effectively a capsule wardrobe in the 40s be a pinafore dress of grey flannel, which of course you could mix and match with the other garments that you owned. You want structured patterns with minimal fabric consuming details like frills to make this dress, and durable functional fabrics like wool, flannel and cotton. Then by the late 1940s, of course, Christian Dior introduced the new look in 1947. Women were aiming for a more polished, structured look, and the shirtwaist dress, popular in every decade, really came into its own in the late 1940s. Featuring a button-down front, this dress was suitable both for work and for casual outings. For a late 1940s shirtwaist dress, think classic and functional. You want a dress that buttons down to the waist with a full skirt, and it suits many different fabrics and can be sewn in wool, but pretty cottons in floral and novelty prints or gingham or stripes work especially well and are in keeping with this era. And then in the 1950s, of course, fabric rationing lifted in the UK in 1948. There's much more fabric around. The American economy is booming, and we see the classic 1950s full circle skirted dress with its dramatic voluminous skirt. The dress created the ultimate feminine silhouette. It was a perfect antidote to the war, the ultimate post-war look, emphasizing an hourglass figure. And of course, this dress that I'm wearing it's a shirtwaist dress, but it's a 1950s shirtwaist dress with, as you can see, a massive circle skirt and nipped in waist, and then of course the pointy bust area with the bullet bra. So for this look, you want a full circle skirt with a fitted bodice, and crisp fabrics such as cotton or taffeta are perfect for creating the look, because of course it's the opposite to the 30s. You don't want fluid drape, you want a kind of crisp fabric that will allow your circle skirts to stand out from your body, helped of course by petticoats underneath. Now in the 1960s, the British fashion designer Mary Quant brought us the mini-skirted dress, or the mini-skirt, a bold and youthful fashion that initially shocked the fashion world. The short hemline was all about liberation and fun, and it introduced an era of youth-driven fashion, which I'm not sure we've ever got away from. You know what I mean? Not that I have a vested interest. For this look, think about bright, fun colours and bold prints. Patterns from this era feature a straight silhouette and are bold and striking. Also from the 1960s, we have the classic shift dress. The simple straight cut of this dress was one of the most popular of the decade and really become a classic. Very easy to wear. Obviously meant no uncomfortable cinching in of the waist. It looked simple and elegant. Of course we think of Jackie Onassis, Audrey Hepburn. There are many style icons that gravitated to this look. It was minimalist and chic and could be dressed up or down with appropriate accessories. Sewing a shift dress is easy and fun. You'll want patterns with clean lines and simple shape. It's a timeless style that works really well for every occasion. And into the 1970s, something completely different again. The Peasant Dress. This was relaxed, bohemian and super comfortable. It featured flowing skirts, billowy sleeves and earthy colours. Patterns for the peasant dress have a loose, free-flowing fit, and fabrics such as cotton and lightweight linen are perfect for this bohemian and feminine style. And often blending in with the peasant dress style was the other iconic look of the 1970s, the maxi dress. This long flowing, effortless dress sums up the carefree spirit of the 1970s. It could be worn for casual occasions or evening wear and was all about the length and elegance of the skirts. Patterns had quite a simple, long silhouette, and the fabrics used were usually naturals like cotton or lightweight linen, or silk for evening wear. So there you have it. 10 iconic sewing patterns that tell the story from the 1920s to the 1970s. These dresses are more than just styles, they're snapshots of the eras they were created in. I'd be really interested in which of these dress patterns you prefer and would like to sew, so do let me know in the comments below, because when I'm choosing which patterns that I show you the construction of, it's really helpful to know which ones that you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.